Welcome back, everyone. We're diving into some really fascinating Krishna lore today, specifically the story of Govardhan Hill.
Oh, yeah, it's one of those stories that just grabs you.
Yeah.
So many layers to unpack.
Exactly. And, lucky for us, you brought some excerpts from lectures by Indra Swami.
He's a great storyteller, really brings these ancient tales to life.
So, our mission today is to really get to the heart of this Govardhan Hill story, see what kind of profound messages we can uncover.
What always strikes me is how Govardhan Hill itself kind of becomes a character.
Yeah, like more than just a mountain, right?
Right. Indra Swami describes it so vividly you can almost feel its presence, like it's a living, breathing entity woven right into Krishna's life.
And that's what makes it so compelling, right? It's not just about rocks and dirt. It's about faith and devotion and seeing the divine in unexpected places. But let's start at the beginning, shall we? The Govardhan Puja.
Ah, yes. This is where things get interesting. See, traditionally, the people of Vrindavan, Krishna's village, worshipped Indra, the king of the gods. For rain and prosperity, the usual.
Makes sense. But then Krishna comes along and suggests they shift their focus.
To Govardhan Hill itself? Can you imagine?
I mean, it seems like a pretty radical idea. Why would you worship a hill instead of a powerful god?
Well, Krishna's reasoning was actually quite practical. He's like, look around, Govardhan Hill provides everything we need.
The grass for the cows, the water they drink, it's the source of their livelihood.
Exactly. He's pointing to that direct connection between the community and their environment, saying, hey, this hill sustains us. Shouldn't we show our gratitude?
So it's a more grounded form of worship, focusing on what's tangible and immediate.
Right. And to make his point, Krishna orchestrates this massive Govardhan Puja.
Oh, yeah. The descriptions are incredible, right? Food offerings everywhere, laid out on silk like a giant feast.
A feast for the senses.
Yeah.
And get this. They even make a miniature hill out of food, a replica of Govardhan itself.
Wow. It's like they're saying, we see you, Govardhan Hill. We appreciate you.
And it's a bold statement, too. Like they're saying, maybe Indra brings the rain, but it's Govardhan that feeds us every day.
It's really putting things into perspective.
And the scale of this puja, Indra Swami says, was unlike anything anyone had seen before. Kings and demigods hadn't witnessed such a grand display.
So we're talking major devotional energy here. But then the story takes this really fascinating turn.
Right. Govardhan Hill doesn't just sit there passively receiving these offerings.
No, it doesn't. It responds in a way that blows everyone's mind.
It manifests as a deity. This majestic figure appearing on top of the hill. Indra Swami describes it as breathtaking. Eyes rolling in bliss, arms swaying, radiating this incredible presence. It's like the whole hill came alive.
So even those who were used to Krishna's divine nature, they were stunned.
Totally. And then Krishna does this really clever thing. He pretends he doesn't know who this deity is.
Like plays it up.
Yeah. Like, hey, everyone, who's this guy? It just adds to the mystique, solidifies this idea that it's a separate entity, not just Krishna in disguise.
But it's the deity's proclamation that really gets to the heart of it, I think.
Oh, absolutely. He says, ask me anything according to your heart's desire. And that reveals so much about the nature of true devotion.
Because for a Vaishnava, for a devotee of Vishnu like Krishna, their deepest desire is to please Krishna. It's about that selfless love and service.
Right. It's not about what they can get from the deity. It's about how they can serve. And we see this reflected in how the deity interacts with the food offerings.
Consumes it all, right? Every last bit. Grows bigger and more blissful with each bite.
And even motions for more. There's this insatiable appetite. It's actually how a nearby village got its name, Anior, which means bring me more.
It's amazing how even these small details, like a village name, are woven into the story. Adds this whole other layer of richness.
Definitely. Oh, and there's this one small detail that I love. A Balarama, Krishna's brother, offers the deity a single tulsi leaf.
It seems so simple, but
it's incredibly significant because even today, the tulsi leaf holds this special place in devotional practices. It symbolizes purity and devotion. Like even the smallest offering, when given with love, is meaningful.
It's all about the intention behind it, right?
Exactly.
So we've got this grand celebration, this manifestation of Govardhan Hill as a deity, and this underlying message about the true nature of devotion. It's already so much more than just a story about a hill, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. And this is just the beginning. Because, of course, Indra doesn't take this challenge to his authority lying down. He's not too happy about being overlooked.
And that's where things get really dramatic. We've got this clash of egos, this divine showdown brewing. Definitely stay tuned for that.
So Indra, he's not exactly pleased about being replaced by a hill.
Right. And that's putting it mildly. The guy's got a bit of an ego, right?
A bit. He's the king of the gods.
Mhm.
So, feeling pretty slighted and, yeah, decides to unleash his fury.
And not just any fury. We're talking about these Sambartaka clouds.
Yeah.
Like the ultimate weapons of mass destruction.
Oh, yeah. Indra doesn't hold back in describing these things. Torrential rain, winds that just tear through everything. Indra is basically aiming to wipe Vrindavan off the map.
It's not just about punishing the people either. It's about destroying their livelihood, their animals, everything they hold dear.
He even targets the cows, which for a community like Vrindavan, that's like going for the jugular.
For it shows how deep Indra's anger runs. But then you have Krishna. Faced with this apocalyptic storm, he remains completely calm.
Such a contrast. The villagers are terrified, and Krishna's like, don't worry, everything's going to be fine.
He actually tells them, such adversity becomes insignificant for one who has surrendered to me.
Wow, talk about faith. But Krishna doesn't just offer words of comfort, he takes action. And I don't think anyone could have predicted what he does next.
I mean, who would think to lift an entire mountain?
It's mind-boggling. Krishna literally picks up Govardhan Hill and holds it like a giant umbrella.
Shielding the entire community, the animals, everything.
The descriptions in the lectures are amazing. They talk about it as a subterranean heavenly kingdom, this safe haven under the hill, while the storm rages above.
It's like this complete reversal. What was a symbol of fear, the storm, becomes almost irrelevant.
And it gets even weirder. The villagers are so focused on Krishna, so captivated by his presence, that they don't even realize when the storm stops.
They're just completely absorbed in this moment of divine protection.
It speaks volumes about their devotion, and that connection is mirrored in how the cows react after 7 days under the hill.
They don't want to leave Krishna's side.
Like they've formed this deep bond, this sense of trust that goes beyond just being physically protected.
It's about feeling safe and loved and cared for. And this sense of connection is really at the heart of devotion, isn't it? It's not just about outward rituals.
It's about that inner relationship. And this brings us to the first Govardhan parikrama.
The circumambulation of the hill, which, by the way, is still practiced by devotees today.
It all started right there, with Krishna leading the way. And he's very specific about how they do it.
Oh yeah, it's not just a random walk around the hill. There's a whole order to it.
First come the cows, then the cowherd boys, followed by the Braj basis, the residents of the area. All led by Nanda Maharaja, Krishna's father.
And Krishna and Balarama are right there near the front, guiding everyone along.
It's this beautiful procession. There's music, singing, dancing. It's a celebration of their survival, their gratitude for Krishna's protection.
It's like this collective exhale after holding their breath for 7 days.
And there are these little details that I just love. Nanda Maharaja, so overwhelmed with gratitude, he starts offering charity to the Brahmanas along the way.
An act of generosity amidst this already joyous occasion.
And it catches Krishna's eye. They share this loving glance, and you can just feel the depth of their connection.
A father's pride, a son's love, all woven into this moment. And even Radharani, Krishna's beloved, she's there too.
Veiled by her elders. But the lectures say she keeps track of Krishna by following the arc of his twirling stick.
It's such a sweet detail. Like this subtle reminder that even amidst these epic events, love finds a way.
It's beautiful. But, it's important to remember that Govardhana Hill itself, it's seen through many different lenses in these lectures.
Right. It's not just one thing to everyone.
For Krishna, Govardhana Hill is his best servant.
A symbol of unwavering dedication and selfless service.
For the gopis, the cowherd girls, it represents Krishna's love and protection.
It's like this embodiment of his care for them.
And the sages and devotees, they offer all sorts of interpretations. Vishwanath Tagore, for instance, he sees Govardhan Hill in the shape of a resting peacock.
With different features corresponding to sacred places, it's like this whole spiritual landscape mapped onto the hill.
It's amazing how this one geographical feature takes on so many layers of meaning, depending on who's looking at it, what their connection to Krishna is.
It's like it reflects back your own understanding of the divine. And then there are these really intriguing details about Govardhan Hill revealed by the acharyas, the spiritual teachers.
Oh, yeah. They talk about how the boulders are actually made of soft jewels.
Providing comfortable seating for Krishna and his companions.
And the stones soften wherever they walk. Imagine that, a mountain that molds itself to your footsteps.
Like a divine playground. And then there are the forests that cover the hill.
Each one with its own presiding deity and unique offerings for Krishna. It's like This whole ecosystem of devotion has sprung up around this hill.
I love the description of the sandalwood forest. Apparently, it's even more fragrant than the famous sandalwood from the Malayan hills.
Could you imagine that scent? And then there are the caves, hidden within the hill, filled with amenities that are invisible to the uninitiated.
Like secret chambers of wonder.
And they say these caves can expand to accommodate everyone during rainstorms, offering shelter and comfort.
It's like this endless source of mystery and magic. And don't forget about the belief that even stones from Govardhana Hill hold power.
Oh, right! The story of the Brahmana Vijay, who used a Govardhan Shila, a stone from the hill, to defeat a demon.
It's a powerful reminder that even a fragment of this sacred place can carry divine energy.
So we've gone from this joyous celebration to a near-death experience to this incredible act of protection. We've seen Govardhan Hill as a symbol of sustenance, a deity, a source of wonder, but we haven't yet addressed the elephant in the room.
Indra, the guy who tried to destroy it all. What happens to him after this whole ordeal? Does he just slink away in defeat?
Well, that's the thing. This is where we see a real shift in the story. Indra, despite his anger, starts to understand the magnitude of his mistake.
And it leads to a really powerful moment of transformation.
It's not like a sudden epiphany for Indra, it's more like this gradual dawning.
He sees the villagers' faith, their unwavering devotion to Krishna.
And then there's Krishna himself, calmly holding up a mountain like it's no big deal. Indra starts to realize, maybe I messed up here.
The lectures describe his remorse as this palpable thing. He's really hit with the weight of what he's done.
And when he prays to Krishna, you can feel the sincerity in his words. He even calls himself a proud fool, bewildered by your illusory potency.
It's a pretty stark admission for the king of the gods, right?
It is. He's basically saying, my ego blinded me. I got caught up in this whole power trip and lost sight of what really matters.
And that's something we can all relate to, right? I mean, who hasn't let their ego get the best of them at some point?
Exactly. It's a universal experience. We make mistakes, we act impulsively, sometimes we just flat out miss the mark.
But what's beautiful is that Krishna, being the embodiment of compassion, forgives Indra.
It's a powerful reminder that no matter how big the mistake, sincere repentance can pave the way for redemption.
It's like this whole story, this epic journey with Govardhan Hill. It culminates in this moment of forgiveness and grace.
And it leaves us with so much to ponder, doesn't it?
Absolutely. It's about so much more than just a mountain or a god protecting his devotees.
It's about recognizing the true sources of sustenance in our lives. It's about the power of devotion and surrender. And it's about the potential for transformation, even for those who seem most lost.
Think about those different perspectives we've explored today. The villager's unwavering faith, Krishna's cleverness and compassion, Indra's journey from pride to humility.
How do those resonate with you? What does Govardhan Hill represent for you?
Is it a symbol of strength, of shelter, of the divine potential that resides within us all?
Remember, even a stone from Govardhan Hill is believed to hold power.
So imagine what we can achieve when we align ourselves with something greater than ourselves, when our hearts are open to that divine possibility.
Keep exploring these stories, these teachings. Let them spark your curiosity and inspire you on your own journey.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into the world of Krishna lore. Until next time, keep seeking, keep questioning, and keep the conversation going.